Hey there, I'm Nicole Begley, host of the Hair of the Dog podcast, and welcome back to round 3 of our coaching journals. What are the coaching journals? The coaching journals are a special program we have inside of Elevate in which these two lovely ladies, Monica Adalsteinsson and also Christi Baker, and by the way, I think Monica, I said your name right. Finally, after month 3, I'm getting the hang of it. Anyway, these two ladies have agreed to have their journeys shared with everyone in exchange for getting some additional bonus coaching from Heather. And so these are the extra bonus coaching calls that we are sharing here. They've also been updating inside the Elevate program, letting people know what they've been trying each month, what's working, what's not working, how they're doing towards their goals. And these guys are doing great, by the way, towards their goals. And in fact, Monica last month, if you listen to Coaching Journal number 2, had quite surpassed her May revenue goal, which was awesome and well on our way for June. So anyway, congratulations to both of you ladies. You guys have been doing a great job. I'm really proud of you. And without further ado, go ahead and roll those coaching journal tapes.
Okay, Monica, first of all, congratulations. You are just killing it. You are winning. What are your thoughts? Tell me.
Oh my gosh. I feel so good. Yeah, I've definitely been on a high from hitting my goal. I'm still I don't want to say I'm in shock. I'm just really happy and believing in the actions we're taking are pushing our business forward. So I'm just leaning into that.
What is your primary thought around that? Let's capture it because we can lean on it even more, but especially when things
Yes.
maybe get challenging.
Yeah. So my favorite thought right now has been the actions I am taking are pushing me forward and getting me to reach my goals.
Mm.
And I tell myself that I'm taking every day, I'm taking action to reach my goals, whether that be posting on social media. It can be little things, right? It doesn't have to be huge actions, but every day I'm doing something. So
That's good.
um,
The actions I'm taking are working. Every day I'm doing something.
um,
I like this idea of just, and I've shared this with you, where I just think everything is working. Everything is working.
yes.
Everything I'm everything I'm doing, everything I'm thinking is working. And then it just helps you to feel more confident about the actions that you're taking. So you continue to take more action.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. So what are we working on now?
Okay, so right now I'm working on interviewing people for the art gallery project. So I tried to manage my expectations a little bit. So I was a little disappointed. I only had 14 people apply to be in the art gallery. And there's 12 spots. So it's a matter of getting those people to get on the call and chat
Mm.
with me and that whole thing. So I think there's going to be less people in the gallery than what I had earlier anticipated. So just because you have fallout, right? Some people back out, whatever. So
What were
that's
you thinking
okay.
in terms of applications that you were going to get?
I was thinking at least 30, because
Mhm.
it's free to apply. It was very easy to apply. And I had the applications open for a month. Um, and we went to local businesses and put up our flyers, and it was so nice because so many businesses actually put our flyers in the window of their business. Amazing. So we got a couple of people from that, which was great, but not as many as I was expecting. Yeah.
Where did you
So
primarily get? Was there any one place in particular that you got the most from?
mostly from the rescue that it's benefiting.
Yeah.
So yeah, which is nice because of course it's a art gallery benefiting them. It's nice to see
Mm-hmm.
their alumni in that gallery,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't the goal. But
Mm-hmm. And did you send
yeah.
out to your list as well?
Yeah, I sent it out to my list only twice. I posted it on social media many, many times.
Mm-hmm.
Probably I'd say 6 or 7 times at least. And then people were resharing it, the organization shared it, the ice cream shop shared it that the art gallery is going to be at. So that was good. But yeah, not a ton of applicants.
Okay, where do you
So
think we could improve that?
gosh, I think I could have given myself more time to maybe ramp up and like get people pumped about it before, because this is the way my brain works. I get an idea and I'm like, let's do it right now.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. And I don't give myself much time to like ramp up. So I probably should have done that. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other ways I could have like
I wonder if you could
gotten
have
it out more.
structured it like, yeah, I love this idea of ramping up. I think of a runway. It's like if the airplane is going to
Ooh.
take off, it needs a runway.
Yeah.
So you can't just like magically lift an airplane into the air and it flies.
Just
okay.
jump.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Like go and it's up. Okay, V1 and
Yeah.
then okay, you need a runway in order for that airplane to get the lift and the speed it needs to get up. Now, and also that runway, I'm thinking applications are not open during the runway.
Right.
There is a runway and a build up with a date and a very, very brief timeline. Like applications are only open for 3 days.
Ooh, okay.
But you can't create a post and say applications are only open for 3 days starting right now. Everybody please share as quickly as possible. Right. You have to create the runway prior to and get people excited for the date of the release of the spots are opening. Then they open and they close very quickly. So I'm assuming that you just started sharing and putting it out there and they were open then for the 30 days and it was just way, way too long.
Way too long. I even had some people apply the day after and I was like, oh, yeah, like obviously you're still in, but like,
but really,
because I need you.
Right.
But and yeah, so yeah, I like that. Okay, next year I'm writing this all
building
down.
up the runway and essentially you're hyping it up prior to.
Yes.
It's a limited time and there are very limited spots. And there's urgency and you want to be part of and everything that you're already doing. I think this was just a positioning thing. I think we could have positioned it in a way to make it more effective. And at the end of the day, it still worked. Because you did get 14 applications and you wanted 12. I understand there could be fallout, but so it worked. It's just, I think we could make it more effective.
Exactly. Yeah. It wasn't like my calendar contest that was just like overflowing with.
What do you think the difference was though then?
Oh, goodness. I think there was more collaboration. Like, so we included a business each week that like sponsored that week. And so then that business would share it and that they would get more people to join as well, which was really cool. So just like more collaboration, and that's something to think about. Like, how can I next year get more business collaboration?
More collaboration from individual businesses to help just spread the word. And is there a way, I'm thinking as I speak, to get people interested in this on your email list so that you could remind them and speak to them more directly? Because here's the thing, we're sort of not as empowered when the other businesses were waiting for them to tell their people or for them to send out an email or put it in their window or whatever it is they're doing. I'm just wondering, is there a way to collaborate that also gives me a little more control? Like, I wonder if you went to a business and said, hey, I'm going to write 5 emails for you.
Yeah.
Because nobody has time to write. And I don't want to, I'm going to write 5 emails for you to send out over the course of the next week leading up to this and make it super simple. Like, how can I add more value and make this easy for you? So a couple of weeks ago, I got an email from a client of mine asking for a letter of recommendation. And my first thought was, oh my gosh, of course, I love you. I want you to succeed. Whatever you need from me, absolutely. But Monica, I hate to write and I have no time for it. So I replied back to her and said, I would love to do this for you. How about you just like write or give me an example or write it and then I will sign my name to it happily. How can I make this easier for the person I'm asking to help? How can I provide more value? I would have to believe that these businesses want to email their clients on a more regular basis. And if you wrote something for them, maybe they would send it.
That's a really good idea. Yes.
Thank you.
I have like so many little spider like ideas.
Yes.
Like, little webs of ideas for next year.
Yeah. Whenever I'm asking somebody for something, my first thought is always, how can I add value first as I ask this request? I mean, you're obviously adding value in multiple ways with the things that you do, but like, how can I make this a no-brainer for them, as easy and seamless as possible?
Yes.
Because they're busy, like everyone else.
Yeah. Exactly. I want an easy yes.
Yes, easy yes, like no brainer. They'd be like, of course, Monica, whatever you need.
Right?
Yes.
They're gonna be thanking me.
Yes, of course. We love you. Whatever you want, Monica.
Right.
How about you write our emails all the time? Meanwhile, I'm jumping over to Chat GPT asking for help.
Yes. I asked ChatGPT to generate 52 blog post ideas for me recently. I just was like, here, I need some help.
I love it.
It's the best thing ever.
It is. I'm in ChatGPT every single day asking it something, and it is so fun. And sometimes it's like totally off the rails and it just makes me laugh. But I'm actually surprised at how often I'm like, whoa, that's actually really helpful.
Yeah.
It's great.
Actually good.
It's actually good. Did you happen to catch that Chat GPT training in Elevate where that was good.
That's where I got hooked.
Yeah, good. Okay, great. Okay.
I was on like an older version of a different AI system, and you're like, no, this is better.
This is pretty interesting what's happening here. Yeah. I actually have it open on my screen right now. I was asking it for help with podcast. I asked it if it could help me, and then I said to it, what do you need from me to get the best results? And then it told me what it needed. I gave it what it needed, and it was just amazing.
My gosh.
Yeah.
That's great.
I know.
I love it.
Okay, fun. Okay. I don't want to get derailed. What else?
So it's kind of awkward. So like I selected my dog guardian day winners in May, right? And it's mid-June. I selected 4 winners, 1 booked immediately. The 2 others I've had a chat with, like a consult with, and let them know like, hey, here's the booking link. They haven't booked. It's been like a couple weeks, and I've sent them their reminders like, you need the schedule. And I'm just kind of at this point where I'm like, do I set like a hard deadline for them? Because I think unfortunately in the rules and terms, which I don't think they even have access to because I didn't email them the rules and terms, but like the little thing that they applied with, it said they had 6 months to book the session, which is my bad. I should have made it shorter. But I'm like, should I like get them a shorter deadline? Like, how do I get them the book?
What do you think? You know the answer to that.
I know. I need to get them a hard deadline.
Like right now.
Yeah.
Email today or this week that says you have until the end of the week to schedule your session, and the session must be scheduled prior to the end of next month or whatever, but I want it on the schedule and I want it done by a certain date, and like hard stop.
Yes.
And then if they don't, they don't. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. It's totally fine.
Yeah. So you and I have been through this a couple times on different things about setting hard deadlines with less time.
Yes.
You like to give people a lot of time.
I'm so bad at it. I do. It's so frustrating. Oh my gosh.
Okay, but why? What's the driving thought, do you think, behind, a 30-day window to apply, for instance?
Right. Oh. I think I give myself that time because I'm worried people aren't going to see it, or they'll see it and then forget. And so like having the runway, like next year, like that's not gonna give me that same kind of feeling, because like they've had time to look at it. And so like, having 6 months to book your session is ridiculous.
Yes.
But like I struggle with but
I want to get to the thought that's causing you to give people so much time. Yeah. What is it?
So I think the thought is, in my mind, okay, I've given someone this product for free, right? Like they get the session for free, but then they are on the hook for paying for the photos and all that. And in my mind, I've just sprung this expense on them that they weren't maybe expecting to pay, because like they've been announced a winner. They didn't come to me and be like, we're ready for photos. But then now that I think about it, why did they apply if they weren't ready for photos? So why am I giving them so long? Like
Well,
yeah.
listen, if the thought is, I wrote this down. If the thought is, I put them on the hook and I sprung this expense on them, then you feel what when you think that?
I feel a little guilty.
Yeah,
Like,
guilty. And then you know
yeah.
what's in your action line? You give them 6 months.
Yeah.
You set this crazy, like, no deadline.
Yeah.
You have till the next
it's very
century to
chill.
schedule your session. But that's coming, that action line, if you think in terms of the model, that action line is coming from the feeling of guilt because you're thinking I sprung an expense on them.
Yes. Yeah.
If I'm thinking I sprung an expense on someone, of course I'm going to feel badly about it. And then I'm going to say, well, like, okay, I'll give you as much time as you need, or okay.
Right. Yeah.
What is a different thought that could also be true?
Oh, they are excited to be selected and they needed this push to have family photos that they will remember forever. And also, like, I like to tell myself this as well. There's a reason they reach out to me. I think I've said this before. Like, there's a reason they reach out to me. Like, they need these photos, and
true.
Right. And so they applied fully expecting, maybe they were expecting a response. I'd be like, I'm a winner. Like, I'm going to win this. So, like, why wouldn't you expect to get those photos done right away?
Yeah. I love that.
Sorry, that totally
excited.
Went off.
So there's a couple of thoughts that you could choose to think here that might serve you better. One is they're excited.
Yeah.
Another is one of my favorites. They are ready, willing, and able to pay.
Yes.
Because they would not have entered without being ready.
Yeah.
Like to your point, what you just said was they entered for a reason.
Yeah.
So they're excited and they're ready, willing, and able to pay. If you truly believed that, like they want this, and what I offer is like getting them to book in a timely fashion is actually doing them a favor. That's a service. Because if you give me too long to do something, I actually hate that. Like the person asking for the letter of recommendation, if she said you have 6 months, I would be like, well, first of all, I'd wait 6 months. And I would hate that. But if I said, when do you need this by? Like, tell me today. Literally tell me you need it today, because then I'll get it done and I'll get it off my list. That's service. That's actually helping someone.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking, I offer a service, they're excited, they're ready, willing, and able to pay, how do you feel?
Oh, I feel more confident about that. And it makes me feel a little bit more settled in this project.
Confident sounds like secure.
Yes. Yeah. I don't feel so uncertain about when are they gonna book? When are they gonna reach out? Like there's no question. It's just this is it. This is the deadline.
Because you're the professional offering the service. You get to decide that.
Yes.
So if you're feeling confident and secure, could we go to your action line and then say, okay, you have X number of days to book this? Like that's an action step.
Yeah.
Set deadline and communicate it clearly that you need to have your session booked. Use this link to get your session booked in the next week, but the session has to be completed within the next 4 weeks.
Yes. Love it.
And then guess what happens when you're thinking they're excited, I'm excited, they're ready, willing, able to pay, you're feeling confident and secure, you set deadlines. The result is they are excited, you are excited, and the session gets done in a timely fashion and everybody wins.
Yes.
Yeah. This is your intentional model versus a minute ago, the unintentional model of feeling guilty.
Yeah. That's not what I wanted out of that.
Right.
That was not my intention.
No, of course not. No. You were just driven by an unconscious thought you didn't realize was having an impact on your result, which is like the beauty of the model. It's exactly what we're always talking about. The thought was, I sprung this expense on them. You were, that thought pops in your brain and you don't immediately think like, what's wrong with that? That's not a harmful thought in of itself. Like, I actually just feel bad. Like, look at me. I'm so virtuous. I feel bad that I did this. It's all like, it doesn't sound like it could be bad, but it's very insidious because it leads to inaction or loose deadlines or not getting things done. So we just have to like pull out the unintentional model so we could see like, how could we make this better?
Yes. I love it. I need to like sit with my thoughts and like, you know what I mean? Like actually like, because those thoughts come up and I didn't even think to like pause and recognize that and be like, okay.
We don't even
Let's
question it.
think. Right.
Yeah.
It's just like that's my brain served me that. And I was like, sure, that makes sense. I didn't stop to think about
Monica,
it.
the biggest problem we have is believing what our brain tells us. Don't believe everything your brain tells you. In fact, get super like diligent about questioning the thought. We're actually going to talk about this in our Elevate call this week about celebrating our wins and not celebrating our wins and some of the unintentional models we create from apathy. And it's just so interesting. We have these very basic thoughts like, well, I'm not where I want to be yet. And it sounds like an innocent sentence in your brain, but it creates apathy, which produces inaction and then the results that you don't want. So yeah, we're going to talk about it, but questioning, you just like believed the thought, didn't ever question it. And then everything flowed from there, from that one
It's
sentence.
so true. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Last minute thoughts. Or what are we working on next? Where are we headed?
Oh boy, next. So actually my husband and I, we like brainstormed this morning. So we have a bunch of fun ideas that we're going to start working on. So like just broadening our reach for like dropping off more rescue adoption cards because we give discounts to people who just adopted a dog, just like little things like that. He had an idea where we should go to mortgage brokerage companies and real estate agents and see if we can like, because like
love that.
Especially for like, you bought a new home, you should have some gorgeous photos in that home and like dropping off give them like a little discount for, a session with us. They can put in their little welcome home package. So
I love that.
Thinking of ideas, right?
Yeah. The real estate brokerage firms, I would be all over that 100%. You could meet a bunch of those people and just, create this network and be friends with them and offer something and they would look good. And, again, my thought is how can I add value to them? How can I make them look good? Oh, I know this pet photographer and she offers this. And don't you want a new photo in front of your home with your pet? Like it's so beautiful to remember this time. Yeah, I love that. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. We have like, here, I'll just show you a very long list of ideas. I did the whole like, we're good ideas, bad ideas. We're throwing them all out there. So I'm excited to start working on those.
Good for you. No idea is off the table. I love that like methodology with brainstorming. Like, I don't care how wacky it sounds. Don't try to figure out how, don't try to understand logistics. Just like any and every idea is on the table. And then we can go through them and pick out our favorites. I love that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. I'd love to hear how things are going for you, what you're working on, where you're stuck. Tell me everything.
Okay. Things are going well. A lot of change happening in my life.
Okay, tell me.
I'm actually 3 months pregnant.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I would say that's a pretty big change.
Yes, very big change. Both expected and unexpected.
Okay. Fun.
Yeah. So it's been awesome. I'm really excited. Like it's been wild. But yeah, that's a big change, right? Personally, and then that also your business. So the fatigue for like the last month was freaking awful.
Yeah, unbearable. Yes.
Yeah. I was like with my camera photographing sessions, I was like, just try to come up with something.
I don't think people understand that level of fatigue until it happens. It's like otherworldly.
Yeah, I never knew like how bad it would be. I'd always like heard about nausea, morning sickness, all that stuff. That wasn't as bad for me. It was just like I wanted to sleep all day.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you're busy growing a human, organs and such take a lot of work.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Much more than I had ever realized or anticipated. So definitely try to give myself some breathing room, but I've had I think 6 or 7 sessions this month. And I have one, no, I moved that person back to July. So I got a couple moved back, which was nice. Haven't had any of the sales sessions yet. Those take place tomorrow and the next week. So that should be really good, but I was really happy with the sessions. I think most of them went well, despite the like fog and
you did it. You figured it out, right?
Yeah, figured it out. Yeah, I think right now I'm still like kind of in with that news, very much like, how do I protect my boundaries in a much more efficient way, especially knowing what's coming in the next several months, to a year. So, and then obviously life after that, right? So that's kind of top of mind for me. And I know last time we talked, I was like, people aren't showing up for their ordering appointments. And I think I was mostly so tired. I just wanted to take a nap. And I was like,
oh, right.
I have to stay up to
right.
But now it's a lot of like, well, this needs to be like, it needs to be a really good reason for me to reschedule something. You know,
yes,
somebody might be really impacting my life or my kid's life or my husband's life. So that's like becoming top of mind. So I've definitely asked like lots of questions during Jess's coaching call, have kind of like some ideas of like how people structure things and stuff like that. So I feel like I have good key takeaways, and those are kind of the next steps for me to work on. Once I get these client sales sessions done, I'm like, okay, these are like the 3 things I want to work on.
Okay. So tell me, okay, we get these client sessions taken care of. What are the 3 things you want to work on?
So I just put together a product guide. I finally finished it. So I'm really excited to get that into my workflow, sharing that with clients, in inquiries. So implementing that. I want to increase my prices. I see just like from a volume perspective, I'm like, I could try to take on 70 clients a year, or I could try to scale it back and increase price and figure out what works, what doesn't work, test something out, and then go from there. So I would like to have that implemented probably by end of July.
For sure.
Yep. And then really starting to create more structure around, these are the days I shoot, these are the days I offer sales sessions, these are the days I take inquiries, and actually segmenting it out, not just like, well, my calendar is kind of open.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Christi, I have this concept called the ideal schedule that I use. Okay. And I started years ago. The way I approached this was I created a Google Calendar called Ideal Schedule.
Nice.
And then I structured it like if everything were perfect.
Okay.
And I could set this up exactly how I wanted. When would I do sales sessions? When would I do calls? When would I do shoots? On what days? During what time frames? And I actually want you to physically do this exercise. Do you use Google Calendar or something else?
I use Google Calendar.
Okay, perfect. So you create it and you name it Ideal Schedule. Okay. And you just lay that out in a perfect world. And the beautiful thing is that you can click that schedule on and off so it overlays your current schedule. And here's what will happen. The first time you do it, it won't match up at all. And you'll be like, well, there's some things we need to work on. But it will magically start to just like work. You'll start to see, oh, okay. So like, let's do a real example. What days would you like to shoot?
Right now, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday mornings, and then only 2 a week. And then once one gets booked, I just pull another day off.
Okay, perfect. So on that ideal schedule, you block off those time frames and you just write shooting time. And then you do the same for like ordering appointments, or if you're doing Zoom calls versus in person, whatever that looks like. You put it on your ideal schedule, and then you just start to follow it. You start to, as you schedule things, you're looking at your ideal schedule, and they will just magically start to line up. And then at some point, just delete the ideal schedule. You don't need it anymore. But it's amazing then what you can accomplish because it's very structured, and it actually, so some people think this like confines them, or is too rigid. But I actually believe it gives you more freedom and flexibility, because if you know that you're shooting Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and for the next month you have 2 of those booked and it's like full, and then you see that there's a week open, and somebody asks you for Wednesday, and you're like, you look at your schedule overall and you're like, yeah, I can do that. Or no, I can't. It actually becomes exceedingly clear what's possible, when you can bend and flex and when you cannot, which to me, I think is the definition of freedom.
For sure. Yeah, no, and I like having structure. I like having freedom. So that like, if I create structure that my brain is like, okay, I'm really good with this. All right, this is how I do things. And then when it's, there's those times where an end of life session comes up and it's like,
right,
the rules. Yeah, I feel comfortable in doing that today.
Correct.
So
if you trust your structure, you will feel comfortable bending rules when necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I think that'll just make it so much easier with clients from just like an experience perspective, making sure it's seamless with them instead of being like, do I have this day free? Do I not have this day free? Because that's also like been a hilarious. I'm like, I have to schedule doctor's appointments. When do I want to do them? Like,
yeah. And so you could actually put a day or two on your personal calendar that are for errands and appointments and those types of things that are blocked off from any type of client work. So let me share with you a couple of examples. I had one photographer friend who was a family portrait photographer, really good, super overwhelmed, just taking clients all the time. She had 3 little kids and she was like, Heather, I'm burning out. I can't do this. And I said, what would you do in an ideal world? And she said, I would only photograph Tuesday evenings. And I said, done. That's the only time people can book you. Here's the next Tuesday I'm available. So what started happening was her calendar was booked out 3, 6, 9 months in advance because she really honored it. She stuck to her calendar. This was probably, oh my gosh, 16 or 17 years ago. And I think to this day, she still only shoots on Tuesdays. It just became like her thing. Then there was another photographer I worked with who at the time was photographing everything. She was trying to figure out what her niche was. And she said to me, I don't want to photograph evenings and weekends ever again. And she was shooting families and weddings. And I was like, okay, what can we do with this new information? And she said, I want to do studio newborns and I only want to shoot Tuesday and Thursday mornings, period. And I said, what's preventing you from doing that? Put it in your schedule. So what she does, she shoots Tuesday, Thursday morning. She edits, delivers the same day. She never has a backlog of work ever.
That's awesome.
Ever. She has 3 small children. She had to figure out how to make it work for her. And I think last year, I want to say she hit just under 6 figures. She's not, but that was not her goal. Her goal, excuse me, is not 6 figures. Her goal is like a balanced life and harmony and doing what she loves with photography, but also honoring her commitments.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. I love it. And also like, what a dream.
What a dream. And it's your business. Isn't that the whole point?
Yeah. No. And like, that's ideally like, that's where I get like within 24 hours, I've culled and like done basic color correction edits on every image. By that point, have to get a new laptop to do that. So that's my next goal, is also to do that. My Lightroom is so slow. So that's a next step, but yeah, no, that's super cool. I love it.
Yeah. And I set up a day currently. The way my schedule looks is like, I have a day, an administrative day where I don't book calls. So, I spend a lot of time on Zoom teaching and podcasts, screencasts, all of it. So Fridays are blocked off for me. No calls. I mean, every once in a while I will, and Elevate, every once in a while I do a Friday call, but for the most part, there are no calls on Fridays. And I used to protect Mondays, but now I'm shifting a little bit with that. I'm allowing a little more flexibility for scheduling calls. Wednesdays. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays were like blocked off for administrative and content creation. Tuesdays and Thursdays were calls. That's how it started. It's sort of evolved, but I'm still really cautious about Fridays, especially Friday afternoon, because if you want to just like take half a day or do something fun, like, again, isn't that the point? There is only one person that I will schedule their one-on-one coaching call with Friday morning is Nicole Begley.
I figured that was going to be the case.
And that's because that's the time that worked best for us on a consistent basis. So I don't even like include that because those calls are so much fun. But anyway, the point is, I have guaranteed administrative time in my schedule. So I'm never anxious about getting things done, ever, because it's protected. It's there.
Yeah. like it.
So good. Okay. Okay. You did ask a question though. I think it was, I don't know, rhetorical. You said like, how do I protect my boundaries going into this new season?
Yeah. And that's a little rhetorical, a little like always open to feedback advice. Because I think, many of people have been there and I haven't.
Well, what do you think? Like, if you were to answer the question, how would you do that?
I think it is truly like an ideal schedule, figuring out what works for me, knowing that what works today may not work
Oh, that's important.
6 months, right? So I'm going to like set up a structure that I think will work, take my best guess, make a decision, do it. We'll get into next year, probably take almost, I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 months off. And then as I get back into everything, be like, okay, is this working? Is it not working? And what do we need to change?
Constant reevaluation.
Yeah. And I think just like figuring out what works, like we haven't talked about daycare, like au pair, or anything like that yet. So we're like still very new, but figuring out we'll figure out those things as they come. But we'll also do some preparations. So kind of making those decisions as we progress into that. So
yeah,
a new adventure.
When is your due date?
January 4th.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That's a great time to have a baby because it's like off season anyway.
Yeah, no, it is. That is great. It was just funny because I was like, of course I would have a kid like right when I love going home for Christmas to my parents' house in Colorado. And I was like, of course I would not be able to go home.
Oh, right.
That's okay. I was like, eventually we were going to have to start doing Christmases in Atlanta. So,
right. Okay. So tell me how you feel just about your next 6 months in terms of your business goals in light of your new situation.
Yeah, I think I do want to pull back on the volume a little bit, just with the fatigue that I've experienced. I was like, oh God, this is a lot. And am I going to actually get back to 100% energy? I don't know. And that's where I kind of felt like, okay, well, if I increase prices and then maybe pull back 1 to 2 clients a month, or shift them farther out, that works for me. And so I think that's what I'm really trying to aim at right now. I'm getting a couple inquiries a week generally. So that's been good. I've definitely gotten some of the like, do you offer digitals? Do you offer digitals? I'm like, oh, we may not be a great fit.
Right.
But so still kind of working on that. We have a big marketing event this weekend at this like dog park that also functions as a bar. So that'll be super fun. Like, I definitely think that'll be a really great way to like meet the community and be out there. And I'm just excited about what we have to offer. So hopefully that will help us fill out the fall schedule and get where we want to be. So I do feel good about the trajectory. I'm not close to 10K yet, but that's still my North Star. So that's what I would love to see on a monthly basis. So,
and how many clients I know it was 10K a month in terms of sales, but how many clients when we first started talking, were we aiming for per month?
I think it was at least 5.
And so you're thinking maybe just bringing that back a little bit?
Yeah. Somewhere in the 4 to 5 range, I would still be comfortable with taking on. I think I told you I said like 7 clients this month. I think that was a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. And especially in light of feeling really tired and depleted. But are you like officially in your second trimester yet?
I guess like heading this week, I'm like starting into week 13, if you will.
Okay. More often than not, the fatigue subsides and you actually get a lot of energy. Like, I think you're probably about to feel really freaking awesome. And then what's going to happen is you're going to be like, no, I can do this. I'm going to take on all the things. I have all this energy. Let's go. You'll be all perked up. And then in the third trimester, when you start to get a little bit bigger, you're like, oh, I'm tired again.
Yeah. And like those October sessions, hopefully the weather cooperates with me and is very nice and not too hot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, I'm going to be like, the camera is going to be on the ground and I'm going to be like, can I see this?
I think you can do it. I shot through the end of October and Evan was born on December 13th.
Okay. Awesome.
So, and I was fine. I mean, weddings are obviously, you know, longer in terms of duration, like 10-hour days, but, I mean, I was tired, but it was okay. Like I probably could have still done family sessions or regular sessions up, like into November.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit different, but okay. So that sounds like a good plan. Let me ask you about this pricing increase.
Yes.
That is happening when? Forthcoming.
That's going to be my July goal.
Okay. And have you thought about what that looks? Is this just like, oh, it's, you know, I'm going to raise things by 20%, 30%, double? Like, what were your thoughts?
So my printers increased their prices a couple months ago and I didn't adjust with that. So I want to go back, look at what they've got and then increase based on that, probably increase my creation cost. Again, to me, it feels worthwhile. And so I'm not exactly sure where I want to land. But I've also wanted to restructure it mostly because like right now my collections, it's like a 20 by 30, the biggest album I have, like, and I want it to be more open-ended because I want people to buy like wall groupings. And that's what my product guide now kind of anchors to.
Okay.
So I want to shift gears a little bit more in terms of let's do a fine art, like an art credit album, structure the packages a little bit differently, and hopefully even maybe increase those a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, that's really where I kind of want to get to. And I've also put a lot of investment into kind of like packaging and stuff like that. I didn't really have factored in previously. So I definitely need to adjust for that on a COGS basis. So
yeah. Okay. So we were actually talking about this week on our 6-figure call about cost of goods sold and cost of doing business. And I love the spreadsheets and the calculations, and you put in the formula and your lab went up 10%. So you go up 10%, or you have it to 4 to 5 times the cost and you have everything lined up. I love that. Like I'm obviously I'm an engineer. I love numbers. I love math. And I also love making stuff up. So if I would look at the lab and see, okay, let's say they raise their prices by 15%. I don't know. I'm just making that up.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just do a quick translation of like, yeah, okay, I'm going to increase everything 15%. But I also think there's something at play here that I'm going to call the Christi tax. And the Christi tax in this new season is highly variable.
Yes.
So like, in order to get fewer clients at a higher rate, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to do the math. And then I'm going to look at it, or at least some of the math. I don't think I'm going to go through every single item and look at every single, okay, some people want to do that. That's fine. I don't have any problem with that. But if I start to sense a trend of like, okay, in general, this is going up between 10 and 15%, and I want to just raise my creation of these products, then, you know, I might just across the board increase everything by 30 to 40%.
Yeah.
But there's no formula that tells me to do that. So there's a formula that gives you the base. And then there's like, I also have to use my brain to come up with something that makes sense. Like Jessica and I were talking about like value-based pricing, like the value of this product, not just the cost of it. Value of what I'm creating in terms of the art that goes on the product. And if you wanted to, again, look at those numbers, get like a high level feel, and then say, boom, 30%, 40% across the board, everything's going up. What I'm suggesting is that you spend maybe half a day on this.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
Okay. Thank you. Some people try to resist. You're like, okay, it's done. Yeah, I'll do it. I mean, there's like thinking and logic and math involved. And then there's like, how does this feel for me in this season based on the number of clients I want to shoot?
Yeah. I have a column for Christi's happy price.
I love it. Christi's happy price. Love it. Love it. I was talking to a friend last night at Camera Club. She photographs seniors and she's already filled for the year.
That's
and
awesome.
It's June. And I'm like, okay, so you've left money on the table, which is okay. You know, right? This is what she's done.
Yeah.
Right? Because a high-end client can't even book her and get on her schedule because she's filled.
Yeah.
So she said, well, I'm getting all these inquiries and I have to refer them out. And I'm like, oh, okay. Next year, I want you to just double everything. And she's like, double it? And I'm like, you're filled 2 months or a month before the season even starts. You can't take on any clients. You're going to refer out more than you actually booked. Like, yeah, double the price and see what happens. I think she wanted more of like a reason or a formula for that. And this is what I said. It is a very simple economic principle called supply and demand. There is more demand than she is willing to supply. So she works a full-time job. So she only wanted to take 12 clients. So she booked these 12 clients, and then there's all these other people that want to book with her. And she just does not have the supply to meet the demand. This is when prices go up. This is just like how it works. You know, whether people like it or want to accept it or not, it's actually a very black and white thing to me. Like there's only so much Christi to go around.
Yeah.
So do the calculations and then add your happy price. That's it. Okay. Any last minute thoughts or questions?
I don't think so. I feel like I have like some really good takeaways for this.
Okay, great. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Heather.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
If you're listening to these coaching journals and think that you can benefit from having this type of support in your business, well, you might want to join us inside of the Elevate program. You can get more details at hairofthedogacademy.com/elevate, and we would love to have you in there. Oh, and by the way, that Elevate registration fee includes full access to the Hair of the Dog Academy while you are an Elevate member. So what are you waiting for? Come on over and check it out and come join us inside. www.hairofthedogacademy.com/elevate.